Welcome back to the Blast R6 Europe League, where in our break, we just had a few players give us tips for our ranked games. And now I'm curious if Fresh and Fabian have a tip for your ranked games as well, maybe.
I have one. And this one works every time. Because what you do is you write in chat, we're banning this map, but that's the one you want to play. So you say you're banning it, you ban something completely different, and you can get yourself on any map you'd like.
This is how we end up playing a lot of Emerald Planes, like a lot.
I love that, man.
Too much Emerald Planes. So my ranked tip is do not play ranked with Fabian. And that's the #1 reason is you have to play loads of Emerald Planes. The second reason is he treats ranked like it's pro play, but when it's ranked, of course, some crouch walking Ash walks in sight and kills him, he gets really angry.
It's not my fault you're a gold player that don't know how to hold a sight. And also, admit it, you miss playing Favela in rank with me.
I do miss playing Favela.
Yeah, it was
in
a
ranked,
great map, actually.
That is a throwback to play Favela in ranked. That has sure been a little bit of a while. But you mentioned now ranked being different from Pro League. An interview that we had last year with Leoufag said that, you know, for example, when you play Nighthaven, it is so much fun and competitive because everyone plays together. It makes a lot of sense. But when you play it in ranked, it is not that great of a map. And talking about BDS, of course, we have them today in our game going up against Into the Breach. And we'll talk about them first. Into the Breach, last week, they had a bit of a tough start against both these teams that they played against. An unfortunate loss against Fnatic as well to end their week 1.
Yeah, but do we have to look at the numbers there? Because what I want to look at is like just the overall way that they've been playing as a team, more so than the results of it. Because what we're seeing is a developmental team, and they're continuously getting better and better and better. And I think that they've finally gotten themselves to the rounded out the roster with the players they've got. Having Oscar coming in this stage, as well as Creed, it just feels like they are much more of a complete team where the players make sense on the positions they're playing, the individual gun skill is there, and on top of that, they have a solid core of players that all know how to play the game together.
It's only been small mistakes from them. They obviously lost their last game, and it was the absolute minutiae that was costing them rounds. They're really not far off it.
And when they won their first game, we of course had the pleasure of speaking to Kengri Kenner, their coach. He had a few things to say about their pickup, but he also had a few extra things to add to that.
Yeah, we had the pleasure of just speaking to him before the game, so we've got a quick graphic, and here's what he said. We learned a lot about ourselves in the first 2 games. Experiencing and learning from officials is vital to a young team. For the next games, our performance is the focus, win or lose. And I think that's really, really smart from him. Takes the pressure off his team today, because obviously they are up against the Juggernauts, but also makes reference to the fact that this is still a team in its infancy. Apart from Kendrew, how many of these players are or were established, top-level pros? None, you could argue, apart from the last 6 months. So it is a team that still has a lot of learning to do.
And being in that position is such a great spot to be in because, as you said, Jack, all pressure is off you. You just have to focus on playing and getting better. Because eventually, once you get better, you'll get that fame and you'll be the team like the one they're playing today, BDS. You'll be more like them. You'll have the pressure on you. You'll have expectations on you. But until then, ITB is just in this kind of cozy position where we don't expect too much of them, but we're constantly seeing that step by step, they're getting better. And I genuinely believe that maybe they won't challenge BDS today, but they will definitely be a solid mid-table team this stage. And I wouldn't be surprised if they stand a chance of grabbing a major spot.
Well, they have a difficult game today, nonetheless, against BDS, and we'll bring them up as well on your screens. And this graphic might look a little bit different than what you're used to seeing from us. And the reason is that this team is so good. So many of these players are on the top of the leaderboard. A gold score means they're currently leading that specific cost or KD or anything. A silver score means they're currently second best of all of the league, and a bronze score means they're currently third.
Yeah, it is disgustingly good how good this BDS roster is, and I think this is why we wanted to show you this. We'll leave it up just on the screen for another few seconds, just so you can really digest it. Every metric that is tracked more or less across the board, BDS have a player in the top 5. Most metrics, they have a player in the top 3. And half of the metrics, they have a player that is leading it, and it is different players on the roster. This isn't just a one-man army. This is a team that is leading and destroying absolutely everything they come against.
Yeah, and you might look at Solotov here, or like he's not having the greatest stage, but don't be wrong. Like, don't put yourself in the spine spot that he can't do it.
Yeah.
Because we have seen him play on M&M and all the time there, and in my mind, he was the best player together with users on M&M.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't take away from Tyrant either. He was also a great player. All of them were good players, but the numbers that Solotov put out, he was insane. And it's just a question about time before he'll do it here too.
Yeah.
It's just maybe when you have that many good players around you, you don't get that much space to do all of these great plays because there's always one more guy that can do it.
And the funny fact is, they won't care about any of those individual statistics. The one that matters is the fact they've taken 6 points from 6 and that they're top of the league, ready to go to Manchester.
And they're looking great while taking those 6 points. Like, if you ask me right now, I think that they might be the team that is closest to challenge Furia on the World Championship title for that.
That's some really tough words coming out for that. Very promising.
2 games in, yeah. 2 games in, and I'm saying that. And it's just how complete they look.
Let's hope you won't be jinxing it for them. For ITB, their players, of course, have played for different organizations. And when they played against BDS, it wasn't going all that well for them. It was a 7-0, 7-1. But under these current organizations, these two teams haven't actually played against each other. Hence why I'm super curious what map we will be going to for this series. If you can have a look at the map Veto on your screens, we will be heading to Border. How are you feeling about that one?
So, on the balance of things, Border is a bit of a surprise because it's a map that BDS never played. Inside Tier 1 stuff, inside the official circuit, we haven't seen BDS play it since the Stage 1 LCQs last year. So almost 12 months of official play, we've not seen them play it. They played it in off-season tournaments, but in Tier 1. However, this is a brand new roster, so we don't necessarily know what to expect from this team on this map. For ITB, it's been a very middle-of-the-road map, but they do like it, and they do have a winning record on it, having won 2 out of the 3 times they played it.
I don't really care about the numbers, and the viewers at home, I know for a fact that you know
just... You don't care about the viewers? That's what you just said. I don't care about the numbers and the viewers.
Wow.
Fabulous.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is that you, a viewer at home, know just as well as I do that Border is a frag-heavy map. What does BDS have more than anything?
Yeah.
Fragging power. I think this map will fit BDS properly, and they will love it there.
That is a very scary prospect if you're an ITB player or an ITB fan, but our game is almost ready to go, so it's time that we say hi and bring our casters back as well. We welcome back Ollie and Demo. We heard some very tough words about, what we expect from BDS on this game. How are you two's expectations for this one?
Well, I think it's interesting they've not played it in a while in an official, as Fresh mentions there, but we're having a bit of a chat about this, and we know that BDS can shoot themselves out of pretty much any situation. What do you reckon, Demo?
No, I agree with Fabian. I think BDS right now, complete. I think they'll win a trophy this year. How many? I think that's probably up for debate.
We'll have to wait and see, of course, but Ollie and Emma, please take us to Border.
Thank you very much indeed, and Fresh and Fabian. We're going to be heading to Border here, Demo, for our second map of the day. We got BDS, we have got Into the Breach. We are going to be kicking things off here good and proper. I must admit, Demo, I secretly love a little bit of Border.
It's my favorite map. This is the one where if it comes up, I'm so happy to see it. I think it's a great map. Aggression you can bring to the table is second to none. And for both of these sides going into Border, I mean, I'm really surprised that we're seeing ITB take BDS to Border. 2 weeks ago, I seen BDS dismantle G271 on this map. It wasn't pretty. I seen Solotov drop 16 kills on them. Wasn't pretty. ITB, I don't know. To be fair, where could ITB realistically have taken them? They wouldn't sit here and say, BDS will be favourites anyway.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? We've got very, very much a developmental roster on one side. We've got a roster that, while it's made some changes, has got an incredible amount of experience on the other. And they too are finding the feet and quite possibly could be in a honeymoon phase. Who knows? All we know at the minute is BDS open to a server and they're coming away with a win. And for ITB, this is going to be, I think, more on the performance that they put in.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be more important than the result.
Yeah, I mean, obviously BDS are going to be feeling really confident, just with how things are clicking with this side. They will win a trophy. I know they will win a trophy. You look at Leoufag, Briddy, and Shaiko, obviously were the 3. And then you bring in Users and Solotov, who were, look what they did on M&M. It's just a match made in heaven for role, man for man. You couldn't get a better upgrade. Obviously, the dev said that a lot of them are, really highlighted in each of the different categories. Solotov isn't. But we know for a fact, as soon as this guy kind of just gets used to the system, gets used to the team, and he feels comfortable, this guy will just take off as well, Ollie. You have to keep in mind, for Eustace and Solotov, they've only ever been in one team. This is their second team in their history of them playing this game.
Yeah, it's, and that's scary to think of. how sort of the leaps and bounds that they've been able to make, despite, you know, not really spreading the wings further than M&M. And it goes to show what they were able to achieve when they were on there. You mentioned there about highly rated players. It's incredible to see, you know, users Leoufag, Brede, and Shaiko all inside of the top 10 rated players so far inside of EUL. Granted, we've seen a week, so we haven't seen that much siege in the grand scheme of things. BDS have been fortunate that they have played in every play day so far. Their off day is going to come in a couple of weeks' time. It's more toward the end. I think it's the second to last. So there's a chance for others to catch up, but realistically, we're expecting BDS to come out here and put on a little bit of a masterclass. And they're going to be starting out things on the attack.
Lineup. Only just kind of, I mean, it's semi-hard breach, semi-not hard breach in terms of EFAC bringing in the Maverick. They do have hard breach gadgets as well on Bride, but Border isn't really a map that we see all too much if they kind of hard reinforcements being opened up. You maybe get the odd armory wall opened up, or maybe the gel wall, but most of it just comes down to fights and kills and everything in between. Mostly because I feel as though for defense and Border, you try and control about 80% of the top floor. If you actually look and see what ITB are holding, they've got so much control right now. No one's got himself into a very tricky position. Does get one before Shaiko is there with the refrag. I mean, Shaiko's just hot off the press with a big win yesterday, Ollie. Big 1v1 shot.
1v1.
Favor. Big one. Took down Jinxie.
We should ask him what was more stressful, the 1v1 or playing an official, or playing in a final. I think there's a lot on the line for a 1v1. Yeah. I'm very surprised to see Leoufag sort of balling in there at the top of East Stairs. They had no idea that Noah was there. Sure, it's been traded, but and the damage has been done. This is where things look a little bit weird, by the way. Azza will be using the lineup tool at the moment to get that C4 toss perfect. But it looks like he's just sort of tracing through the wall a little bit here and there. Solitov is going to find himself one onto Oscar. Slowly but surely, BDS are dismantling this push, and they've not really paid too much attention even to the site yet, Demo.
Just a pick here, a pick there. A lot of the kills have just been from, you know, just long angles being held, and ITB have just happened to kind of walk into them. Rene's just probably looking to walk in and try and go for the plant, and this guy's survivability rate, and this guy just doesn't die. That's what we always seen. Kenny, though, has somehow went round the other end, past Bride, eliminates Shaiko, but still Bride is there with the refrag, and Soltov can just hold on to this cross in a great position towards 90. Diffuser goes down. That's the 1v2 that Azar has to try and make up for. He knows we're on in the Miz, but it's the second player that he's not sure about, and that is the danger man. He has to try and get past Soltov before he gets to Bride. He's gonna try and wait to see if Bride's gonna peek, but we know the patience of that man, and Soltov waiting for it on that cross. And yeah, BDS, it's a good first opening round.
I'm not sure how we actually saw the player cross in. I'm not sure if they came through metal or not, but Azza was playing inside of office, and or archive, sorry. I'm not going to say that he stole, but he's kind of let that player come across for free. There was no sort of indication of it. I bet Noah thought all his Christmases and birthdays had come at once here. He picks up one and quite easily could have got the second. He got a shot off onto Shaiko there, but unfortunately it wasn't the headshot. This is the situation here. You see the kill come through and you turn around. You're not expecting to see a Grim just stood in sandwich, are you?
No, it's that was just one of those kind of Laurel Hardy sketches, wasn't it? I think that we witnessed there. He runs around one side, he then comes through the other. But yeah, ITB, look, for me it was always about what's the mentality of this side going to be tonight. Are they going to go in, going up against BDS, and saying, oh, we'll be lucky if we get such and such tonight? You know, if that's the mentality that you're going to thinking, oh, we'll be lucky if we can just barely hang in there, you know, you've already lost at that stage, haven't you? You're just admitting that you know you're going to lose. I would love to see ITV just come in here and say, you know what, we're going to do this today, we're going to take it to them. Sure, people may call you delusional, but it's better than just admitting defeat.
Absolutely. I don't think that that's the mindset. I would highly doubt that it is that, but as a roster that is, you know, very, very inexperienced in terms of that tier 1 experience, then, you know, they've got to be realistic going into this. And I think that if they can work on some of these fundamentals and find a little bit of synergy together. You know, it can also go quite a long way. Creed getting very unlucky there on the pre-fire from Brede. He'll be rocking the Deimos. He's not currently got anybody in his sights, but of course the Lion scan is a fantastic way of gathering that information, filling in who the defenders are. If anyone gets caught moving, then it all of a sudden becomes very easy to find out where they are, and Creed is feeling that pressure right now. He knows that he's going to be getting pushed from pillar and post. Brede on the upside down rappel is going to be there to take him down, but there was a number of BDS players all hanging around that location.
What a toxic lineup BDS have brought in. Look at all the information you have. The Lion and the Dokkaebi, the Deimos, the Grim, just information galore right now. This is not fun to play against if you're ITB. Kenny has been forced out of his position, has to move away in towards offense. They're just trying to find somewhere that's safe, but the information that BDS can gain and just they know where he is at all times allows Brede to push in towards Armory. Oscar will drop into the site now, and yeah, just the ground that BDS are being able to take right now is second to none, and that's just thanks to the operators that they have at their disposal.
I think the BDS are doing very nicely here is they're just sort of picking. They're not really committing to anything all too serious right now. They're still just trying to find picks, and there's 2 minutes gone off the clock. Kenny's now rotating upstairs, going to get himself through break, finds a freebie onto Solotov. Nobody was really expecting that. Could have relieved a little bit of vertical pressure there. Oscar coming in with one onto Usus as well, and all of a sudden, that sort of stall out, that BDS trying to find these picks, it's been punished, and they've lost 2 bodies in the process of it. Leoufag, he's going to try and get himself in. Does get caught inside of a goo mine, and eventually will be finished off there by Azza, and Brede now left with quite a tall task ahead of him.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one for him. I'm surprised that Azza didn't just unleash himself out through the breach there and tried to get a pick. He does do so, but Brede has moved away since then and almost catches him through the wall. Azza still alive for the meantime, but with 15 seconds to go for Brede, he's going to try and chase the kill now, and that probably will leave him with not enough time to get into the site and get that diffuser down. He's hunting for his kill, but Azza has fled the coop, and he's going to be tucked in towards the customs, and he gets away with that kill. Very fortunate there for Azza. ITB, they respond with a round. BDS just slowing down ever so slightly, Ollie.
Brilliant retake as well from ITB. I think they played that perfectly. They recognized that there was a space and a gap for them to get up and try and do something. They couldn't just sit on site and wait for the inevitable to happen. They needed to get aggressive onto that. And we saw both Oscar and Kenny doing a fantastic job there of, you know, rotating through break room or rotating up main stairs, whichever one of the two. So a great job there from ITB. You can't always just let these things happen to you. If you're trying to hold this ground and getting pushed early, for all the annoyance that BDS are bringing, they didn't bring too much in the way of, you know, actual utility. Soft breach, ways of getting the walls open, ways of getting that vertical control. There wasn't really a focus on getting the plant down in that round. It was very much like, well, the border's a difficult map to defend, so we're going to play into that part of things. And it didn't really work out for them.
Means that the Benson workshop is locked away from them. They're not wanting to go back to that top floor just yet. Instead, they will up for their bathroom. And Teller's defense now. Generally a site where we see a lot of battles be won and lost just on who can control the hatch. Ollie, who can get in towards that top floor, can use the verticality at their disposal. BDS have brought that in the form of the buff, of course. So they certainly can go for that option and start to root out some of the players. It depends how aggressive ITB want to be towards that top floor. And I mean, whenever you see mirror windows be placed in towards Armory, they're just trying to deny BDS control of the building whatsoever, trying to keep them out as best as they can.
It's not about strategy, you know there's going to be a fight fought on the fringe and someone's going to have to try and hold on to it. Look at the fortress that Noah's created for himself here. His armor barricades are obviously a little bit different than previous. You'll notice those cracks start to appear as the shots continue to rain. You can take them down with any weapon. It just varies on the amount of ammo that is required. Of course, the best way is still going to be that Flores. Unfortunately for Noah, he placed it a bit early there. I think he even had a mute jammer at the top of the stairs to stop that from happening to that particular barricade. He's going to be a little bit out of luck now as he waits for one to regenerate. Just have to play a bit more passively for the time being.
Yeah, they probably needed the mute jammer like right on the east door that would have caught both doorways, you know, one that goes in towards catwalk as well, but they placed a little bit deeper back. That meant the floors could get in and open it up, and the radius hits the other Zami barrier as well. So it's a bit of a split take now from BDS, where they're looking to push towards east. They're also looking at Armory as well, so a bit all over the place. And finally, we see the Ice player being fall, but I suppose no, he got his kill from it, wasted some time, but however, they lost Creeds in the midst of that. So ITB, once again, on the back foot in terms of man advantage. They still have Kenny upstairs, seeing if he can hold that top floor as best as he can. I wonder if Azure maybe might try and retake and try and help him. Whenever you've killed Shaiko, you know that's the Nomad gone. Flanks are going to be a potential for you.
Reloading! I think there is a Nomad out there, but there's definitely not more than two, so there's a real opportunity here for a bit of a retake. I think this next kill is crucial, I'm going to be honest with you. Unfortunately, it's going to be on to Oscar. The user is just going to be watching onto that bathroom window. And that's probably going to seal it, I'll be honest with you, because we do have Kenny and Azza still alive. But if you look at the positions that they're occupying here, they're not exactly close together. The last door can do upstairs inside of office. Azza has now been droned, and you just get the feeling that it's only a matter of time. There is a bit of information here, but with Kenny gone upstairs, Brede, he's free to get the plant down, and it's a full retake into the power of BDS here. An attempt at a pre-placed Nitro just before he gets taken out from the vert.
They look bored. Why do they look bored? Why? Can anyone tell me why they look bored? Honestly, like, where do you really start with this team? Because, look, we all said on paper, oh, you know, this and this, oh, it'll be incredible. But how many times have we sat here and said about, you know, with these super teams? You look at the time the G2 thing, you know, with Prano coming in, and we sat there and said, oh, look at this team, it's going to be this and this. And, you know, they rarely work. But this one is, it's not just doing it on paper, it's doing it in the game. Yeah. Which is terrifying. You know, you look at the 2 rounds that BDS have won, they've been a walk in the park. Like, it's... I'm just lost for word. I don't know.
Something that BDS are doing incredibly well is the drone work at the start of the round. And off the back of that drone work, they can then make calculated risks depending on the situation. So you will see them take some risks, and sometimes you've got to take those risks. But look at Solotov's drone here, for example. It's on the top there. It has, unfortunately for him, been shot. But look at the information that provides. You know you're going to be attacking into archives and armory. You know that you're going to want to have a bit of information as to what's going on in that rotation inside of CCTV. So you're going to be looking to get a bit of info there and find out what's going on nice and early. CC, it's going to be somewhere that you're going to try most likely to pressure, regardless of the take you go for. The take that BDS are setting up for, however, is going to be a very direct one. They're going to be looking quite keenly at that archives door. They've got the glass, they've got the Monty, got a lot of tools at their disposal here.
Yeah, Ying being banned, it still shouldn't affect the strat because you have a Grim. Grim can do a similar thing, you know, where Ying is out to create some chaos. Grim can do exactly the same. You can fire the Grims in, you can rotate towards sandwich window if you want to, which I think that's probably where Uses is going to go, and you can spot out those same positions that Ying would deal with in that element. And it'll just be smoked up, and in they go. So, yeah, right now for BDS, it's a very classic take. Let's just hope the ITB are going to be ready for it.
Leoufag in below as well is going to be perfect. He's going to be looking for those players that are trying to drop hatches, trying to play for some C4s from below. See the smokes coming in now. Brede conscious of that vert, but he knows that Leoufag's there, and he knows that he's going to be covering him. Leoufag does have a very important job to do here. He will fall. Creeds is going to take him out, and that is going to stop the plant from going down because it frees Noah up on that C4. Solotov, not a lot you can do through the smoke there. Of course, as you're moving with Glaz, you've not got the full benefit. He finds himself just caught in a little bit of no man's land there. BDS really looking for something in response. They've got a bit of control, but they know they can't start re-attempting that plan just yet.
Loading new magazine!
Ooh, that jump out from Azure. That'll just make things even more difficult for them, as that was Diffuser, and it's going to be cold now. Use this, it's still full HP, but equally so are ITB, as they could just sit back now. The storm, well, the first storm is certainly gone. There's going to be an aftermath off it, though, as Uses just snuck in, and we'll try and get that diffuser down. Shaiko in a great position, actually, just to cover one doorway. That's all we need to do. It looks as though he's going to be able to do so. Shaiko, you don't challenge him. Just guns you down any which way. Now it's into the 1 versus 2. Can Noah do it? The SMG in hand, bolts up onto the table. Shaiko misses a couple of shots, but gets him in the end. Oh, the coverage from Shaiko is second to none. ITB, we thought they were able to stop it there, Ollie, but just look at that decision-making from BDS, being able to slow it down and win it in that 2v2. My word.
Recovery there from BDS was fantastic, and they'd set themselves up really well. That was a credit to ITB to get themselves to that point, because typically you would expect the defenders to win there in that circumstance. You've stopped the plant from going down, you've been successful taking the book from below, you've ticked all the boxes. The nitro cell was perfect, everything went fantastically well, and then Shaiko happens. I really hope we get to see that first kill on the replay, because that was a pretty serious flick. He was holding through Archives into office, and he's literally flicked onto the Archives door and the east balcony. An incredible shot there for him. Really did a job at keeping users alive and enabling that plan going down. BDS now extend that lead by 2 rounds.
I mean, even if you look at the initial attack from BDS, look, ITB should know how to play against it. That's very generic what they did. And I suppose BDS, you know, losing the guy below, you know, whenever you kill the buck below, I'm really surprised that we didn't just see the Vigil run downstairs and start impacting below the Monday. I think that would have worked really well. Thankfully for the Brite planted in not the most ideal position, which is right in the doorway. And the reason why that's not ideal is it's so easy just to C4 that. If you push a little bit deeper in, and you plant, you know, right at the start of the filing cabinets, then the C4 omission, you'll still be able to get a plant down in a position where they can't long arm it. So there's little elements like that, little just micro things that I certainly see. And look at that from Oscar. That's an interesting spawn peek. Probes through a barricade, up he goes, almost finds users, but there's a thick line of smoke there that actually covers users a great deal. And Oscar gets away with it, still with his life intact.
Bit of chip damage onto users there. We've got Noah looking for trouble here in break room. He's got the ACOG, so he's got a good ability to play a nice long angle onto anybody challenging onto CCTV window. We of course have the upside down player as well. Creed's gonna be cautious there. It's none other than Shaiko on the other side of that door. This is the point in the round where Bride is trying to feed that information across to the players that are going to be looking for the entries on the Deimos. BDS really are just waiting for a mistake. It all depends on how much pressure comes through. Noah is going to be the first to fall there, loses that engagement with Solotov. He's down but not out, so there's potential for him, but Leoufag picking up one onto Oscar is going to make recovering Noah even more difficult, and the kill don't stop there. Shaiko, Bride, back to back. Noah eventually finished off. We've not even seen half the round demo, and already it's a 1 versus 5.
Yeah, they've just said, okay, let's go aggressive this round, and you've been absolutely punished. You know, Des said it's a map that comes down to gunfights. Here you go. Here's the Exhibit A. You know, BDS and the franking power that they have is incredible. You know, Solotov was highlighted as, yeah, he's not, you know, maybe doing as well as what we thought, because I think it was 0.89 rating, but look at him now on border. You know, week by week, this team will just get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's just, yeah, these rounds have just been exceptional from BDS. I mean, albeit I think ITB that round, they just kind of threw it away, didn't they? They just said, okay, let's go aggro, let's take the gunfights to them. And now you're at a stage for ITB where the initial strats that you've tried to go for, you know, the more generic way you play border hasn't worked. You've tried to take the fight to ITB, where you've tried to take the gunfights, try and shut down what BDS have been doing, focus less yourself, focus on BDS. Both of those options haven't worked. Now you're at a standstill where all the players are thinking, now what do we do? Somebody needs to find an answer to it. They've called the timeout. Kangaroo Kenny Bear had a good idea, because they need it right now. They need this round.
Let's see how BDS choose to continue then. The timeout, will it be effective here for ITB? 1 round on the defense. It is not enough. It won't cut the mustard in EUL, I am afraid. Need to be doing a little bit better here. The thing that worries me the most, Demo, about the way that this map's played out so far is that into the breach, over the 10 rounds of attack they've played so far, they've only won 3. That's inside of all of EUL, so both games last week. Now, that isn't, you know, anything to really write home about. It's a very low attacker win percentage currently that they've got. We don't really want to, go too deep or too heavy on the win percentages because it is, of course, subject to change. But if you look at what BDS are getting away with here on their attacks, God only knows what they're going to get away with on their defenses. I was wondering then if we were going to see quite a quick plant and a bit of an attempt there at something through that smoke. We do have users playing in below, and he's desperately trying to get something out of it. He only has one smoke canister left here. If you keep still and the peak comes through, he might have a chance at a glimpse. Small changing of color, only a couple of pixels, but I think he gets the idea.
And uses his patient. He will sit there, he'll hold that angle, and he will wait for his kill. Azur, so close. Almost picks off Shaiko with that C4 over the top. Wall will be open, but again, just look at this from BDS. They find opening picks. Leoufag he's essentially knocking on the front door right now, Ollie, as he can just walk into the site, into bathroom. There is a player inside the stall. Does he know about that? No, he doesn't.
Changing now.
Oscar will pick him up. Yeah, Mistro, certainly. Maybe Leoufag could have just held there 2 seconds. There was a drone right beside Oscar. So at least that's something that ITB can try and play off, is having that kill back in their favor. And Shake will be low HP. In a couple of shots, he'll be out of the picture as well. Can he? Can he win this engagement on these stairs? It's going to be Shaiko. Should win it with the HP, and he does. Shaiko goes down. However, the rest of his team have not won their engagement. And BDS pick up yet again another very easy round.
It looked winnable for a time as well. When Shaiko drops the kit inside of bathroom, you start thinking to yourself, well, it's on, we know where the kit is. The kit's in the site. We can defend that. We got the mirror above. And into the breach, it's not criticism because they had to go looking for something. They had to try and level out that number advantage. But just how good are BDS at getting these trades off? Nothing that they do is solo. They're never more than a couple of seconds away from one another. And that's where they're shining right now, because on the flip side, you look at some of those opening picks and you look at the way that when it rains, it pours on those kills coming in from BDS. They're not just picking up one open engagement, they're getting a couple. And that's really what's costing ITB right now.
Now, good news for ITB, you're off the defense. Bad news, you have to now attack against BDS. Is it a win-win there, or is it a lose-lose?
I think that there's got to be something that you can say for it. We've ended up on this map for a reason. Let's see what ITB have to show for us. BDS did not got the run of the teeth on the defense. We have, of course, a couple of bans. We've got the Fenrir ban and the Solace ban.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Not going to be able to use any of the more newfangled technology that the defenders have at the moment. Instead, they're going to be knuckling down, going back to some old favourites.
I love this trap. The castle barricade from the top floor, I think it's great. I remember the first time we seen it done, me and you, we were casting, I think it was Navi versus Virtus Pro, like way back, like 2 years ago almost. Not maybe 2 years, maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. And where you're creating these kind of layers in border where you castle off a lot of the big double doors, especially down long. You're castling off towards break room. It gives you as a defender these kind of like tunnels almost. You're making rat tunnels, go through Brazil, in through Fountain, in through break room, and you're kind of maneuvering around the map while also having these big layers of protection using the castle barricades. And it does make attackers' lives very difficult because you can be very flexible, very fluid in terms of a defense, and always can just change position, keep them on their toes. And you combo that with a mute, for example, then the drone work is going to be a lot difficult as well. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a head rattler for ITB certainly to go through. And looking at their lineup, they do have the Ash, they have the Sophia, they should be able to deal with these castle barricades.
Shaiko going to be the first to fall there. Noah in a position to finish him off. Creeds going to start to open up some of these castle barricades and ease the passage of his teammates through that top floor. Shaiko playing on the Azami. I think it was a bit of a combination there. Some good book work underneath from Azur, and Noah up top ready to catch the cross. Now, I've seen BDS have to just reposition ever so slightly here. Leoufag going to find one onto Oscar. Still got a commanding position inside of CCTV, and almost more importantly, that brilliant rotate that you get to the top of 90. You can get very quickly into main stairs. You can get into Fountain nice and quickly. And with the stack up that we've got from ITB right now on East, they're almost telegraphing their position. BDS know where they're going to be coming from here.
Yep, Kenny
Bomb
will
located by
just go for the plunge. Takes a walk through, and he's inside of office now, close to that fountain wall. What does he know about the player into our sandwich wall? I'm not entirely sure he does, but no, Pretty gets himself. Oh, but look at that! A quick kills from users here and there, but Creed, though, he's the one who comes out on top, and now leaves Solotov in the 1 versus 2 with that UMPA cog. Brings into a 1 versus 1 Noah versus Solotov now. Can Solotov win this? 10-2 is where he sits on the scoreboard. He's been a standout player in this game. Noah can win it for ITB and give his team some hope. Picks up the diffuser now. Solotov, does he know he's going long? Yes, he does! Solotov, great 1v2. Holds his mustard. Britain's loving that one. He's like, I don't have to clutch anymore. It's not all down to me.
It's not me. For once, it's not me. Shaiko's chuckling because he know he got first blooded and he had to watch his team clutch again.
Honestly,
I mean, balance has been restored right now. BDS is sky high at the minute.
Remember NIP back at SI21 and we said anyone can clutch for that team? Exactly the same for BDS. New cookbook coming out. Anyone can clutch. Get it now.
Leoufag looks like he is very intent on dishing out some instruction here.
He wants to bury this.
Of course, the main shot caller here on the side of BDS. Doesn't want to give ITB any chance at getting back into this. BDS, they are on map point right now after what can only be described as an incredible clutch from Solotov. I mentioned how important that rotation is. Up at the top there, you've got Fountain, 90. You can get yourself deep there inside of CCTV. You've got the main stairs, you've got beepers. It's the heart of Border as a map. And because it wasn't touched and the defenders were able to hold on to it for a good portion of time, Solotov is still able to navigate that even towards the end in the 1 versus 1. 11-2 he currently sits.
Attackers are moving
Not quite solo carrying because everyone from BDS is doing great.
Oh, everyone, yeah.
Everyone's winning the gunfights. Nearly everybody's positive. Well, should I say, a better way of putting that would be nobody is negative. We've got Shaiko going evens right now at 5-5, but if this is going to be the last round, you better believe that he will be in for a kill or two, I'm sure.
BDS, can they finish it in 7-1 fashion? They will go for their events hold now. Plenty of players in towards the top floor. They're looking to go at ITB now, and I think whenever BDS know that they're winning majority of these gunfights, why would you not try and hold upstairs and play aggressive as best as you can? I like the addition of the Pulse as well. I think that for Brite, just who is... You look at the way he's been played throughout this entire matchup, on the Deimos, on the Pulse, it's all about information that he's trying to feed to his gunners. That is a role that he has played extremely well. You know, just sitting there, you can pulse the balconies, you can call out there's 2 here, there's 1 here, whatever it is. It just works really, really well.
As they're going to be downstairs in waiting room right now. Typically, you would expect the Buck to be getting themselves upstairs, but he's just going to be assisting on the drone for the time being. That top floor does still need clearing. Creed's searching out for any electronics on that IQ. Of course, the Dokkaebi call ringing out is a bit of a giveaway as well. They probably can hear that there's a couple of players down inside of customs. We have Shaiko below as well. Very C4 heavy lineup here, so the Vert does need to be treated with a good degree of caution. So you're not always just going to be given free passage up there. The cameras, they shouldn't remain, especially with there being an IQ. Shaiko did keep one in pocket and he only has just placed it, so there's a chance that one will remain for a bit more yet.
Oh, Shaiko.
Oh my goodness, what have we just seen?
Stop stream! Stop stream!
No, what have we just seen?
Stop it. Yeah, Jinxie, you had no chance yesterday, did you? You really had no chance. You really didn't.
You've got to feel so sorry for Creeds. That's just random habit, you know, just a couple of one-taps here and there. But on match point, that's not when you want to be suffering that sort of RNG. Bees go through. Kenny gonna get an idea that somebody is inside of workshop there, but he's gonna have to do a little bit more than that. Time really is starting to dwindle here, and he's got himself dug into bathroom. He's gonna pre-play C4. Can he find the head? Yes, grabs himself one. A C4 from Leoufag will secure. Detonates the C4 before going for the challenge, but he doesn't even need it. Hits the headshot onto Kendrew, and it's all down to Azza. To mention the book. would be on the vert, and that's exactly where he was. Top of main stairs, Brede picks him up, easy as you like. What a final round there for BDS.
Oh, incredible. I mean, just Shaiko gets that kill, and then the dam has been opened, and the water just floods out, and BDS all over that. Incredible. 7-1, that's how you do it. ITB, look, it was always going to be the toughest matchup for them. One thing I will say, though, for ITB, Ollie, is I would say everyone will probably lose to BDS. So it's almost like you just kind of cancel it out. If everyone loses to it, then it doesn't really make a difference in the standings.
It's almost a free hit. I was chatting to Fresh before these games. We were going through a little bit of prep together, and we were like, it's BDS. Everyone's probably going to lose to them. ITB, they can't judge themselves too harshly on what we have seen here today or how they have played here today. But I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to scrub the VOD, and I'm going to go back and rewatch that dirty one tap from Shaiko. We're going to throw it to the desk. They're going to break it down. I'm sure they've got some wise words for how that game went.
BDS making very quick work of Into the Breach with a 7-1 score. A very dominant game, but did we also expect it to be that dominant?
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we... No, okay. Let's stop there. I mean, we got exactly what we were expecting. It was demolishing. I mean, just looking at every single position, you see, like, every single player in BDS played better than every single player in Into the Breach. And what could they really have done?
I mean, you highlighted it, Fabian, is that it doesn't matter what the map preferences are, and if BDS haven't played this map, officially in over a year. When, when you take a BDS to a close quarters map that is very, very heavily influenced by gunfights and refragability, and in reality, every single BDS player more or less clears every ITB player in the gunfights, in the refragability, in the game sense and the mechanics. You're only ever going to go one way. You've got to question the approach to take BDS to such a map, even if it is a low preference for them.
Yeah, it's not just that though. It's like I'm looking at this BDS team. It's like I am lack for words because we praise them every single time we talk about them.
Yeah.
What else can we really do? Because like I'm starting to look at what are their weaknesses and how do you beat them? And I don't think I have that answer just yet. I mean, sure, working as a coach and as a player, you always look for the weaknesses, and when you study them a little bit harder and more in depth, you might see it. But so far, I haven't. And what is that? What's the win condition against BDS? Well, you can't take them to a frag-heavy map, because that's impossible. You can't really take them to a strat-heavy map either, because Leoufag is one of the best in-game leaders in Europe.
Yeah.
And then they have good support staff that can help them with all match preparation. Where is their weakness?
I think the only thing that I would be doing if I was on a team would be to get them to a map where I can layer my defenses.
Yeah.
And get back to site and then force them to execute in like a 4v4, 5v5 scenario. That's the only thing we've not seen teams do against them yet. Wild were very passive and gave them all the ground they wanted, suffered.
Yeah.
G2 tried to get aggressive with them, use the Solace to deny the information. BDS passed that test. And then we've seen ITB take them to a smaller, more compact map and try playing a gunfight game with them. That clearly didn't work. So, like you say, it doesn't look like there are any perceived weaknesses. I think the only thing left to try is to play a very structured map and then force their executes. But even then, who's to say that they wouldn't pass that test as well?
It's like you have to bring out the VP playstyle, but we can't wait until we see it, I guess. And then we're just going to praise them one more time.
I'll say it again, this team is disgustingly good.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds insane, but you said, they're extending their map pool as well. We've seen maps that we haven't seen from them in a year. Their players are super scary to play against individually, all at the top of the scoreboard. One player that wasn't really participating in that yet was Solotov.
Yeah, Solotov, I mentioned before the game. He had none of those first place, second place, third place scores in that, what we showed off all the BDS players. But look at what Solotov did today. Is there anything that can stop this man? I don't know. He just had such a high impact. You didn't miss his shots. And I don't know. There's just not words enough because they're all just the best at what they do.
It's great to have such a balanced team with all these well-performing individual players. I'm joined here by Fresh. We have an interview going as well. And we welcome Leoufag. Good evening. Good to see you again. You made quick work of Into the Breach. Must be feeling great.
Yeah, I mean, we prepared well the match. We won 7-1. So yeah, great evening.
Leoufag, you're the IGL of this team, correct? How was it transitioning from being a French IGL into an English IGL? And I suppose the second question on the back of that is you guys seem to play so many maps in such a short period of time with this new roster. How has that all come about so fast?
So basically, the first question, if it's difficult for me, not really, because I played a lot of Face It with European people, so I know how to speak English in the game. It's difficult on specific words in the game, but we have 2 months to practice. So the specific word, I learned it, so now everything feels fine for my English. And also, Solotov and Yus make an effort to understand me, because I think I'm the worst in English by my accents, but they make effort to understand me and everything is nice. And about the map, we work for 2 months, and Solotov and Yus are hard worker. So basically, we just work a lot during 2 months to be ready for AUL, and I hope for the major.
So with Border specifically today, why did you want to take Into the Breach to Border? Why that map?
Border, because it's a good map from us. We beat 7-1 G2, but we only got 1 match, so I think ITB will expect we are a mid-border team. Also, by gunfight, I think we are better than ITB. With all the respect, ITB is a great team, but I think by gunfight 1 by 1, we are the better team, so Border is the best map.
And now also we've seen that you guys have been on bootcamp for a pretty long time. How has that been?
Everything is good. I mean, it's good because we are winning. I think if you are losing, can be bad because you don't have a personal. You can't change, go to see family, friends. But we are winning. We are working, so everything is perfect.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us about how things have been going so far for you. I'm pretty sure we'll speak to each other again soon. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Right, that was a very good interview, but we've only had our second game of the evening. When we come back after the break, we have Fnatic versus Wolves. Don't go anywhere.